sent us some really interesting articles
Yep.
about Tesla, right? About these new vehicles.
Yeah.
Everyone's talking about them.
Yeah.
It seems like we were all kind of expecting the Robotaxi to be, the main event, the star of the show.
Right.
But then they go and roll out this Robovan.
Yeah, it definitely stole the show.
Talk about stealing the show, right?
Yeah, for sure.
And it just goes to show that Tesla really knows how to get people talking,
Definitely, yeah. They know how to build that hype.
Exactly, build the hype. And this whole thing, by the way, it kind of reminds me of when we saw that image of that futuristic people mover a while back. Remember that?
Oh, yeah, that leaked image, yeah.
Do you think, is this it? Is that what they were teasing us with?
It's definitely possible. I mean, the timing would make sense, right?
Yeah.
And it certainly fits with, Musk's whole vision of, like, revolutionizing transportation and all that.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah, maybe they've been sitting on this design for a while now and just waiting for the right moment to unleash it.
I guess we'll have to wait and see what they officially say.
Exactly. But, I mean, from just the initial images and everything, it's definitely intriguing, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, that capsule-like shape and the smooth exterior. It's very, very Tesla.
It's like a high-tech toaster on wheels.
I was thinking the same thing. It's got that very sleek, minimalist aesthetic that Tesla is known for, but on a much larger scale.
What's really throwing me off is that there are no visible doors. How do people even get in and out of this thing?
That's a good question. The electric article even mentioned that, right?
It did, yeah.
They couldn't figure it out from the pictures either. I guess they're trying to keep some of the mechanics under wraps for now.
Maybe it's like some kind of like a spaceship airlock that opens up or something, super high tech.
Or maybe it's something really simple that we're all just overthinking, and it'll be a dumb moment when they finally reveal it.
Yeah, you're probably right. I tend to overthink things.
It's the fun of speculation, though, right?
Yeah. Okay, but speaking of practicality, Electric did make a good point about the ground clearance. Or the lack thereof.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, it does look a little low to the ground, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Especially for, navigating speed bumps and potholes and all that jazz.
Yeah, picture this thing trying to handle a pothole-filled city street.
Right. Like, how's it going to handle, real-world driving conditions,
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. I mean, it looks amazing in the promotional shots, gliding along those pristine roads.
Yeah, on a test track or whatever, it looks great.
But in the real world, with all its bumps and imperfections.
Right, it could be a different story. They might have to make some adjustments there.
Yeah, maybe those were just early design choices, and they'll refine it as they go, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, remember those early Cybertruck prototypes?
Oh, yeah.
With the crazy high suspension? They definitely don't always get it right the first time around.
That's true. They do a lot of iterating, don't they?
They do. They test, they tweak, they refine.
Yeah.
It's an ongoing process.
So maybe by the time this thing actually hits the roads, it'll be better equipped to handle the real world.
Exactly. I wouldn't be surprised at all.
Speaking of handling itself, let's move on to what's inside this sleek, doorless wonder.
Okay, yeah. Let's talk about the interior.
Because the descriptions make it sound like something out of, like, a minimalist dream,
It does, yeah. Very minimalist.
Yeah, very airy, lots of open space. Have you seen the pictures?
I have, yeah. It's all about that open space and sense of airiness, for sure.
Yeah, they're really going all in on that feeling of spaciousness, aren't they?
Yeah, definitely. Like with that 2+2 seating arrangement they've got going on and those panoramic windows, it seems like they're trying to create this incredibly open and airy environment.
Imagine stepping into this thing. No steering wheel, just sleek lines everywhere you look, and these huge windows showcasing the outside world.
Right. It's a whole different vibe from your typical cramped car interior, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. It really is. And it makes you wonder, like, is this the future of, car interiors?
I think it might be. Especially as we move towards, more and more autonomous vehicles.
Right.
When you don't need a driver to be focused on the road,
Right.
suddenly the passenger experience becomes, way more important.
It changes everything, really.
It really does, yeah. It's about creating this calm and comfortable environment where
Yeah.
people can, relax, maybe even get some work done during their commute.
Like, commuting could actually become enjoyable.
Yeah.
Instead of something you just have to endure. Which, by the way, that reminds me, the electric article had some really interesting points about the potential applications for this thing, like beyond just personal transportation.
Yeah, they had some good ones.
Like airport shuttles,
Yeah.
student transport, even like municipal routes where maybe you don't need a full-size bus.
Right, exactly. Filling in those gaps in public transportation,
Yeah, exactly. Like those routes that are always underserved because it's not cost-effective to run a big old bus on them.
Yeah, Exactly.
But with something like the Robovan,
Right. It could be a game changer.
exactly, more efficient, less waste.
Absolutely. And I think that's a really important point, right? Because it ties into this whole question of whether the Robovan can actually live up to the hype, you know?
Right, right.
And one thing that I think they might have going for them is, by focusing on these more defined and often shorter routes,
Right.
they might actually have an advantage when it comes to developing the autonomous technology.
Hmm, interesting.
Think about it, right? Navigating a fixed route
Yeah.
with predetermined pickup and drop-off points.
Yeah.
That's a much more manageable problem for the AI to solve
Oh, I see where you're going with this.
compared to, the chaos and unpredictability of open city streets.
Yeah, with pedestrians and cyclists and crazy drivers and who knows what else.
Countless variables, right?
Right, right. So you're saying it's like the difference between programming a robot to vacuum a perfectly rectangular room versus like a messy house full of obstacles and stuff.
That's a great analogy, yeah.
So are you saying that the Robovan could actually be the key to unlocking Tesla's autonomous ambitions?
It's definitely possible. By focusing on a more controlled environment,
Right.
they could potentially refine those autonomous systems much more quickly
Oh, okay.
and efficiently
Okay.
than trying to tackle, full-blown level 5 autonomy all at once.
I mean, that would be huge, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
If they could pull that off.
It would be massive. Yeah, it could give them a significant lead in the race towards, truly autonomous transportation.
And if they can nail that autonomous aspect, imagine what that could mean for like the cost of public transportation. Because Electric mentioned that the cost per mile for the Robovan could be as low as like 5 to 10 cents
Wow.
compared to 20 cents for the Robotaxi.
That's a huge difference.
That's a game changer, right? I mean,
Yeah.
5 to 10 cents a mile, that's basically unheard of, right?
It is, yeah.
That could totally change the game when it comes to public transit.
Absolutely. And you know what that makes me think
Shit,
of?
they
Tesla's vision for the future of cities.
Oh, you mean like getting rid of parking lots and replacing them with parks?
Exactly, yeah, like reimagining urban spaces,
Designing them for people instead of cars.
Right, and making them more walkable and bikeable and all that good stuff.
Yeah. So could the Robovan be like the missing piece of that puzzle?
It's possible. I mean, it could definitely be a step in that direction.
It's a cool vision, I'll give them that.
Yeah.
But Electric did bring up a valid point, you know?
What's that?
Tesla doesn't exactly have the best track record when it comes to meeting their own deadlines.
True that, yeah, their timelines can be a bit optimistic.
To put it mildly.
Yeah, so it's wise to be a little cautious,
Yeah, don't hold your breath or anything.
Exactly. But I do think there's something to be said for aiming high.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Even if they only achieve half of what they're promising,
Yeah.
it'll still be pretty impressive.
Exactly. And I think the Robovan has the potential to be truly transformative.
Okay, so bottom line, is the Robovan just another shiny new toy from Tesla, or is this something more?
I think it has the potential to be much more. It's a glimpse into a future where transportation is not just about getting from point A to point B, but about creating a more sustainable and efficient and maybe even enjoyable experience.
A future where we can reclaim our cities from all the cars and traffic and pollution.
Exactly. A future where we can breathe a little easier and maybe even get where we're going a little faster.
Well said. That's definitely something worth thinking about and something we'll be keeping a close eye on.
Absolutely.
Diving into this with us today, it's been great exploring all the possibilities and implications of the Robovan.
Well, that's it for our show today. Please remember to hit that like and subscribe, and we'll see you around in the next one.